What if your apartment felt less like a space and more like a living mood, where steel lines float on air and spring light turns every corner into a quiet poem? This is the feeling we're stepping into right now, a loft where industrial precision meets soft, sunlit calm, and every room feels like a gentle invitation to slow down. The entrance foyer feels like a soft welcome into a carefully crafted world, where the dark oak floor guides your steps under a high ceiling threaded with gentle steel beams. Warm white walls and pale gray tones create a calm first impression, while light filters through large glass doors and tall windows revealing a distant city skyline. You can almost feel the subtle texture of the wood beneath your feet and the quiet hush of an open plan waiting to unfold, all bathed in soft, spring morning light that feels like a quiet promise of comfort ahead. The formal living area wraps you in a sense of elegant ease, where the high ceiling and exposed steel beams frame the room like a gallery of light and shadow. Sunlight pours through tall windows, gliding over the dark oak floor and brushing the low-profile sofa, making the space feel both airy and grounded at once. The glass partition adds a touch of quiet separation without cutting off the flow, and the soft linen upholstery invites you to sink in, while the city beyond blurs into a gentle backdrop of sky and rooftops that never distract from the calm inside. The family lounge feels like the cozy heart of the home, tucked in a corner where the low bookshelf and slender steel beam make the space feel snug yet refined. A reading chair with a steel frame and plush cushion draws you in, paired with a slim side table that holds nothing but atmosphere and possibility. The large window lets in a soft wash of spring daylight that spills across the floor and warms the walls, turning the nook into a quiet retreat where you can linger with a book or a thought, feeling both surrounded and open at the same time. The dining area feels both intimate and expansive, anchored by a long table with a warm walnut top that glows softly under the natural light. The folded steel legs echo the apartment's steel lines, grounding the scene in structure, while the glass front cabinet adds a quiet sense of refinement. Sunlight spills across the tabletop, glancing off the stone and glass, and stretching your gaze toward the skyline beyond the window. It's a space that feels perfect for unhurried meals and easy conversation, where the city outside becomes a gentle stage for the warmth inside. The kitchen feels alive with light and purpose, where the dark oak floor meets the island's matte black countertop in a quiet dialogue of texture and tone. The folded steel plinth and steel frame cabinets bring an honest, industrial rhythm to the space, softened by the glow of spring daylight falling across the worktop. The breakfast bar feels like a place to pause, a perch between movement and stillness, as the city skyline beyond the window blurs into a soft backdrop. Everything feels clean and precise, yet the warmth of the wood and the gentle light make it feel like a kitchen made for lingering, not just working. The breakfast nook feels like a small daily ritual wrapped in steel and light, where the circular table and slender steel legs create a quiet focal point beside the window. Morning sun spills across the table's light oak surface, picking up the natural grain and making the metal legs feel cooler by contrast. The steel frame pantry cabinet stands nearby like a quiet companion, its glass and pale backing filtering the light and adding a subtle sense of order. It's the kind of corner where you might sit with a cup of coffee, feeling the quiet hum of the city outside and the soft comfort of the space inside, both at once. The master bedroom feels like a sanctuary of calm, where the low platform bed and muted colors invite you to slow down and breathe. The steel frame of the bed feels grounded and honest, while the felt-like headboard adds a softness that meets the gentle daylight from the window. The built-in wardrobes blend into the wall, their glass fronts and steel frames reflecting the light without drawing attention. The ceiling beam stretches overhead like a quiet reminder of the apartment structure, and the city skyline outside softens into a hazy backdrop, leaving the room feeling peaceful, personal, and wonderfully still. The guest bedroom feels light and welcoming, with a simplicity that makes it easy to imagine both rest and connection. The low platform bed and pale taupe headboard create a soft anchor, while the steel side table and wall shelves echo the apartment's structural lines without overwhelming the space. Long shadows from the windows stretch across the floor, tracing subtle patterns that shift with the daylight. It's a room that feels cared for and intentional, where any guest would feel both comfortable and quietly impressed by the way light, wood, and steel come together in such a gentle way. The walk-in closet feels like order made beautiful, where the dark oak floor and steel-framed shelves turn storage into a quiet choreography of wood and metal. The open grid of shelves invites you to pause and admire both the structure and the things it holds, as daylight filters through the high window and washes over folded clothes and polished surfaces. The mirror reflects the steel beams and the soft daylight, making the space feel larger and more serene. It's the kind of closet that feels less like a utility and more like a private ritual, where every movement is guided by light and the quiet rhythm of neatly arranged corners. The home office feels like a space where clarity and creativity meet, with the long desk and folded steel legs bringing a sense of grounded precision. The bookshelf behind you feels like a quiet library of possibility, its steel frames and oak shelves catching the light in soft, shifting patterns. The window frames the city skyline in a gentle blur, so the world outside feels present, but never intrusive. Daylight spills across the desktop, making it easy to focus without strain, and the folded steel task lamp stands ready like a quiet companion. It's a room that feels both productive and peaceful, where work feels like part of a deeper rhythm rather than a chore. The reading corner feels like a private pause in the middle of the apartment, where the low-back armchair and pale cushions invite you to settle into stillness. The steel frame of the chair echoes the apartment structure, while the soft upholstery cradles you like a gentle embrace. The small side table holds a vase of spring flowers that catch the light and add a quiet splash of color. The bookshelf along the wall frames the space with texture and warmth, and the city skyline beyond the window blurs into a soft backdrop. It's the kind of spot where you can lose yourself in a story, feeling both cocooned and connected to the quiet energy of the rest of the home. The balcony lounge feels like an open breath of spring air, where the dark oak floor continues outside and the steel railings echo the apartment's clean lines. The low sofa with its steel frame and light gray cushions feels relaxed and inviting, while the small coffee table holds a planter full of spring foliage that adds a touch of softness. Beyond the railing, the city skyline spreads across the horizon, softened by the pale daylight that washes over the whole scene. The ceiling beam above frames the balcony like a canopy, tying it visually to the interior. It's a space that feels both intimate and expansive, where you can sit with a drink or a thought and feel the quiet hum of the city blend with the calm of your own private retreat. Every home can be a quiet dialogue between structure and light, where steel lines define the space, but soft daylight fills it with warmth. When you design with intention, even a city view becomes a backdrop to calm, and every corner feels like a place where life can unfold, gently and beautifully.